Can you believe it is already April? I cannot. And March was definitely a special one with a ton of incredible indie games that released. Another month gone means another monthly recap, and in this video we're going to be featuring some of the best indie games that dropped in March. There was a ton of indie game releases last month, so we're not going to be able to feature them all because the video would go for literally like 3 hours, but we're going to do our best to feature some of our favorites and a bit of a variety of genres too. The best thing about this video is that all of these games are out already, so if you see one you like, you can go and play it right now. Without further ado, let's dive into some of March's best indie game releases. If you're looking for a nice cozy roguelite game, then Grimorie Groves is definitely one worth checking out. This one is a cozier take on a dungeon crawler that sees you play as an apprentice witch, and you will essentially be trying to restore this magical garden, and to do so you need to venture out into the forest and collect seeds to be able to regrow the garden. Now in this game it doesn't really have enemies per se, but instead you have these highly lovable plants that will literally suffocate you with kindness. This one does have quite a learning curve, so definitely be prepared to kind of suck at the beginning, but it is definitely a great cozier take on a dungeon crawler roguelike game. If you're looking for a heartfelt adventure game, then you cannot go past Wanderstop. You play as the main character Alta, who is a fighter who used to be like one of the best fighters and has basically lost her touch, so she's seeking to kind of reconnect and find herself again. You somehow wind up managing a tea shop where you'll grow and harvest ingredients needed for tea and then mix them together in this really cool tea making contraption. This one has a really beautiful, wholesome story that we're not going to spoil, but is definitely worth a play. If you like a nice visual novel that's got a bit of a comedy aspect to it, then Wyrmhall, Brush and Banter is definitely one worth playing. This one sees you manage a shop where you clean magical artifacts, and it's got a host of really quirky characters that come to your shop and you need to clean their objects for them. This one is a short and sweet game that is packed full of just really hilarious, well-written dialogue. You've got a lot of choices that you can make in how you interact with things too, which is really cool. And there is a really cool overarching storyline that's got some sinister conspiracy type vibes in there, so this is definitely worth checking out. The Deadly Path is a real-time strategy roguelite game where you are essentially a custodian and you are trapped with some pretty fearsome gods in this pantheon. You need to keep these dread deities happy, so you need to construct unique buildings, boneyards and fabricators to be able to build up your resources and defend the dread domain from attackers and other unseen threats. This one has an easy to pick up, hard to master style game loop and a really cool art style, and is definitely one to pick up if you like a good strategy pick. Nekograms is an adorable cat puzzler game where you essentially need to get all of the cats to sleep. This one finally made its Steam release in March, and now you can pair up cats with cushions to make them the comfiest cats around on your PC. This one has some pretty simple gameplay. You pretty much just have to match up cats with cushions so that they can get comfy, but cats only move left and right and your cushions only move up and down, so it can be quite deceiving because it's actually harder than it looks. This one is definitely an adorable puzzle game, perfect for cat lovers. In this cozy game, you will take on the disgusting oil producing ships floating around the sea and clean up after them. Spilled sees you play as a cute little boat cleaning up the ocean, so you'll need to suck up oil spills, collect plastic, pick up oil barrels and more to be able to clean up the ocean. You're able to recycle all the things you collect for coins and upgrade your ship, and of course there's some adorable animals to rescue in each level too. This one was made by a solo dev who is actually living on a boat, so it's got an incredible story, and 10 cents from each sale actually goes to whale and dolphin conservation too. So definitely give this one a crack if you love a nice cozy game. Which Way Up Galaxy Games is the ultimate party game and is perfect for all ages. There are 12 mini games for you to choose from to play, and there are a ton of adorable little characters that you can play as too. Each of the games is set in a really vibrant and adorable space environment, and there is a ton of different style games for you to play. You might find yourself trying to get a hole in one, you might find yourself racing and trying to bounce other players off the racetrack, or you might find yourself racing against gravity itself as you try and make it the furthest. Whatever game you choose, this one is absolutely stacked with so much fun and is a perfect choice to play with the whole family. If you're looking for a nice space-themed roguelite, then Space Sprouts is an absolutely amazing choice. This one sees you play as a grandma retelling your epic space journey to your grandchild, but your memory isn't what it once used to be, so through telling the story, you'll actually remember more. You'll relive this epic space journey starting off in the spaceship, and you'll have a limited amount of time in each run to explore, to rediscover your memories and relive them too. Each memory that you relive will add extra time to your run, so as you progress you will get more and more time to be able to explore, and there is a really large and quirky puzzle-filled spaceship for you to uncover. It's not easy going in this game, there's definitely a lot of learning curves, it's quite physics-based in a lot of the gameplay, but it is a lot of fun to try and figure out how to get to each different part, what each different gadget does, and what each different memory is. This is definitely a great choice for those looking for a good space exploration game. If you're looking for a good puzzle game with a city building twist, then River Towns is a great one to check out. In this game, the world has basically been destroyed by droughts, and so you will be revitalizing the land with every city that you build. You start off with a well that grants you a couple of spaces worth of like hydrated, good to build territory, and then you need to build your city off of that. You have different districts that are represented by different colors and have different tile shapes, so you need to try and build the biggest districts that you can, and this equates to points, which is what you need to be able to complete the level and progress. This game is definitely more of a casual game that you can pick up at your own pace and progress through each different level with a bit of an overarching story, and the gameplay is really satisfying, especially when all of the block pieces line up and you get to create the perfect districts. Karma: The Dark World is a dark first-person psychological thriller game set in a dystopian alternate world in 1984. You play as a nightcrawler and you will investigate crime scenes, interview suspects, and report your findings, but you actually get to use advanced technology to enter the minds of the accused. This is a game packed with story that you get to unravel, so there are definitely themes of espionage, betrayal, and some deep dark secrets to uncover too in what is a great psychological horror pick. If you're a fan of games like Unpacking or A Little to the Left, then Urban Jungle is definitely worth checking out. This one sees you play as a girl, following her from a young childhood right through to adulthood as she wrestles with following her passion versus following a safe corporate job path. Each level is a different location in this game, and you'll need to unpack any of your objects that you have and then decorate the space with plants. You're able to choose from a variety of different types of plants to place around the space, and each plant needs different things, so it might need sun, it might need humidity, and it will have certain preferences for plants that it likes to be around. Each plant you place will give you some points, and you need a certain number of points to complete each level, and there's also some little side quests that you can do to earn coins to buy the rarer plants too. This is definitely a great cozy decorating pick and is one of my favorite games I've played so far this year. Merchants of Rosewall is a hybrid visual novel shopkeeping game where you play as a new merchant who arrives in the city of Rosewall, and you're basically supported by the government there to set up a shop. The story follows you coming across these magical memory motes that upon contact will play a memory that's been saved in there for you, and you uncover these memories grimoires that are not of the town and no one knows where they've come from. So there's a lot of mystery that you need to uncover, and you do that with other characters, and it's a lot of fun. Shopkeeping side, you hire different craftspeople and they each have a different specialty, and then you need to go to the market, buy ingredients and get them to craft items for you to sell. This is definitely a great choice if you're looking for a high fantasy type game that's got that combo of management with a really good storyline. If you love a good exploration game, then Squirreled Away is a great cozier choice. You play as a squirrel living your best squirrel life, and you'll explore, gather, craft and build some pretty epic tree houses in this beautiful parkland. This one is pretty much a cozy, friendly crafting game, so there are other characters that you can meet, there's different crafting recipes and things to unlock, and you can play co-op with your friends too in what is a cozy and adorable adventure game. If you like frogs, then Mudborne is definitely one worth checking out. This one sees you play as a frog who has woken up from like a hibernation nap and has pretty much found that his whole pond, his whole species has been destroyed, and it's up to you to figure out how to bring life back to the pond. This one definitely has some weird psychedelic style stuff in it, so you are able to enter this dream-like land where everything is a bit out of whack and find different recipes and different things. So you can collect a lot of different things in this game, like insects, different mushrooms, and of course different frogs. And the frogs that you collect you can actually breed, and then you can grind up mushrooms and combine them with the frog spawn to create different breeds of frog. This one is by the creators of Apico, so if you like that style of gameplay you'll definitely like this, but it is a great frog game choice. In this puzzle exploration game, you will wander around a recreated Japanese town and learn Japanese along the way. So to speak is a game that teaches you Japanese, but does it in a way that doesn't actually make you feel like you're learning a language. You'll explore different town environments and you'll need to match up words on signs or words you overhear with different English words, and along the way you'll actually learn what those words mean in Japanese, how to say them, and what they look like written down. There's over 650 different words to learn in this game, and the process of learning them is actually really fun. So if you're looking for a good puzzle game and a side of Japanese, this is definitely a great game. In this management sim game, you will take on the role of a supplier of certain substances. Schedule 1 sees you manufacture illicit substances and then distribute them to the town. You're able to grow different plants and combine them with other ingredients to create special types of illicit substances, and you're essentially trying to work your way up to being the best business in town. This one is pretty simplistic on the graphics side, but it has shot to the top of the charts, and for good reason. It's got a really great game loop and you can play co-op too, so definitely check this one out if you're in for a kind of dodgy management game. That is a wrap on some of the best indie games that made their way to our screens in March. We want to know what games you played last month. What were your favorites? What were your picks? Let us know in the comments below. If you're looking for more indie game recommendations, click here. And until next time, stay caffeinated.